what I notice over and over is that the women who are attracted to me, where I can help women in many areas that they're in crisis with, there's often poor health in some way. Many of them have gained weight, especially during COVID. They're not sleeping well, their energy is low, they're often stressed, maybe they're a little bit depressed, and they don't like what they see in the mirror anymore. And then they look at my stuff online and they realize that I figured it out, that I transformed, that I've got the track record of not only having done it, but of showing others how. And cheering them on and help. I'm not a taskmaster, but boy, do my clients get results. I cheer them on, I hold them capable, and we celebrate their results together. So I ask them, give me 5 primary areas of focus, and then tell me which ones matter most. And what one thing, if we started there, would make everything else easier for you. And so that's where we go. It's always led by the client. It's not my agenda, it's theirs, but I will hold them capable of stepping into and saying yes to the things they've identified and show them how to stop the things that were sabotaging them. So often I meet clients, women like myself, purpose-driven, like-minded women who are so busy with life and caught up in the wheel, right, that they've lost track of when they are reacting versus responding. They're burnt out to a certain extent. They don't have the clarity, because really that's the number one thing that I provide, is clarity and the system to follow through once you get clear, that the strategies to be able to actually change things immediately and continually, so that you end up, and it's incremental. So it's not all or nothing. It's a lifestyle, not a life sentence. You can actually change one little thing and it'll lead to the next one little thing. And then you stack one on top of the other, and before you know it, you look back and you say to yourself, wow, I can't believe I've come so far. I can't believe I've done so much. I can't believe it's a new me already. That was much easier than I thought it would ever be. Thank God I've met a coach who sees me, understands where I'm coming from, who's been there, done that, and now is showing me how to completely transform in ways that I never thought possible in my career, in my relation. I mean, the boundaries, the priorities, about being able to know what's most important and now go after it without distraction, without guilt, and avoiding the pitfalls that really lead to negativity and to self-blame and jealousy and justification and comparison. We get out of that pit. And a good example of that is I teach not only the 4 agreements by Miguel Ruiz, which are: be impeccable with your word, don't make assumptions, don't take it personally, always do your best. But it's also the work of Byron Katie, the four questions, which are the inquiry. This is a most beautiful exercise. And once you teach someone how to do this, I mean, once you understand how to do it, you can't not know. It's this wonderful pulling away the veil. It's being able to understand what the wheels are doing behind the Wizard of Oz's screen when we make these negative assumptions, and knowing how to break that continual hamster wheel of spiraling into negativity and then blaming. So what this is, the four questions revolve around recognizing a negative belief or assumption that we have, and then noticing, how that is making us feel. Because if it's a positive assumption, whether it's true or not, hang on to it. That's okay. It's much better to see the world through a positive outlook, and then like innocent until proven guilty is a good way of putting it, right? Like let things be good, unless you've got a factually based reason not to think so. So four questions start with this: okay, what's this negative belief I have? How does that make me feel when I believe that? And then thirdly, do I know that that's 100% true? And so, of course not. Generally speaking, of course not. You don't know it's 100% true because it's an assumption. And remember, we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So we're constantly projecting onto others what our own beliefs are, what our own filters are. We don't see what they see. And we pitch our tent in other people's heads all the time. So this piece about, do I know it's true for sure? No, of course not. And then the last piece of that is, so if I realize that it's not necessarily true, and I know that it's making me sick, because I'm doing this to myself, nobody else is doing this to me. I've chosen to be negative about this, but I didn't think it was a choice. I thought it was real until I recognized that it was my assumption. Then let it all go. How would I be? Who would I be? How different would I be if I no longer believed that negative thing? What if I believed something completely different was possible? Then what's available to me in this moment, in how I respond instead of react? Clarity and freedom. I now have the ability to interact with someone that before I wouldn't have spoken to. I now have the ability to forgive not only them, but myself too, to be able to lighten up and laugh at myself, not take myself so darn seriously, because life is short, right? And everyone is doing their best with the information they have right now, the level of maturity they're at, and we're always engaged in power struggles of some kind. So it's about that matrix, about being able to finally see what's going on behind the behavior and the attitudes and everything else. So when you help a purpose-driven, intelligent, open-minded, curious, ambitious woman step into her power by giving her these tools, providing her with the habits, which I will also call rituals, because rituals are habits with soul. When you provide her with these tools and understanding and support her by cheering, like a lot of women are, they're lonely, they're isolated, they often are the swan that maybe was an ugly duckling, who is now really emerging and developing and saying that I know I'm capable of more, but not surrounded by people who can see that and echo that for her. Then you connect with that woman, you connect her with her inner purpose, her inner confidence, you help her become radically healthy, you introduce her to learning and growth and all kinds of ways of empowering her ability to explore the world with new eyes. She becomes completely unstoppable. She becomes a force to be reckoned with in the most beautiful way. She becomes a light unto the others around her, and she starts to pour that into others. And as an elder myself, I love the privilege of perspective that I have gained by going through all the pain that I've experienced over the years emotionally, and by all the training that I have done in becoming the coach that I am today. It's that combination of education, experience, and my predilection for spirituality, creativity, and empowerment. That is the magic that makes me who I am, because it's not what you do, it's who you are. I don't coach, I am a coach. It's my dharma. And I look for the women who resonate with that, who want more of that in their lives so that they can step into their own destiny, whatever that is for them.